A big mistake I see people often make after a fat loss phase is that they stop tracking progress. So they stop weighing themselves, they stop taking body composition progress pictures, they stop taking periodic measurements, and then before they know it, they're back where they started. Today, I want to explain why tracking progress after a fat loss phase, so in a maintenance phase, is, in my opinion, more important than in a deficit. Coach Ben here in the office, as usual these days, and today we're talking about maintaining progress after a calorie deficit. So we've heard the phrase, what gets measured gets managed. If you aren't paying attention to something, it's easy to slowly drift in the wrong direction. This applies to not just fitness stuff and maintaining your physique goals, but also finances, let's say education as well, like if you're in school, relationships, and for us specifically, body weight. Maintenance isn't passive, guys. I imagine a lot of people think that maintenance is, I'm done, I don't have to think about this anymore. But maintenance isn't the absence of habits. You're simply eating enough calories to maintain your weight instead of lose weight. And here's how some small problems can become a bigger problem. So let's say you're normally 180 pounds after a calorie deficit. That's normally where you sit. And then after 1 week, you're 181, and then next week 182, and we're not really tracking things very closely. Fast forward 6 weeks, let's say we're now at 190 and we've gained 10 pounds. If we weren't tracking our progress, it's easy to slip up because we're not on top of things as much. Maybe you've been eating out a little bit more, maybe you've been having those BLTs, bite, licks, taste, when you're making a meal. Steps have fallen a little bit. Weekends have gotten a little bit out of control with untracked treat meals. These things are not difficult to fix when you catch them early, but if you never weigh yourself, take pictures, measure your waist, a few pounds could turn into 10 pounds like we said before, or maybe even more, 20 to 30. And now we're in a deeper hole than when we started. This is often why people say, my weight gain came out of nowhere. It really didn't. We just weren't staying on top of things. We weren't really paying attention to these things as much. Something you need to remember is that the scale isn't judging you. It has no emotions. It's just to help you gauge your progress or how well you are maintaining your progress. Basically, it's just giving you information. That is all. And on top of that, the scale isn't everything. If I had a high sodium meal the night before I weighed myself, or let's say I'm super stressed out about something going on in my life and my cortisol levels are high, I'm probably going to be holding on to a little extra water the next day. So the scale may be up a little bit. That's totally fine. That's why we want to see weekly average trends. And I recommend getting at least 4 weigh-ins in a fasted state every week. If you can do every day, great. If you forget a few days, that's okay. Get the averages for that reason. On top of that, take progress pictures once a week or maybe every other week. Really quick, just front, back, both sides, standing relaxed. You can use something like a cell phone tripod. You can put your phone on a chair, put it in reverse mode. It's a great way to get some pictures easily. I do weekly check-ins with myself where I will take a waist measurement once a week. So I want you to do this too. Once a week or every other week, measuring around the waist and the hip to see how I'm maintaining my progress. And I'll also weigh myself every morning in a fasted state, and I'll write it down. And then this past week, I forgot one day. That's okay. I'm going to get the 6-day average. Together, all these things give you some data to measure your progress off of. And by the way, this matters during diet breaks too. Like if you aren't all the way at your overall goal, but maybe you're taking a break from a calorie deficit, like if you've been in a deficit for 6 months or more than that or something like that, have a high level of diet fatigue and you just need it for your psyche or even to give your metabolism a little bit of a break, you still need to measure your progress, because if we want a future fat loss phase to be successful, we don't want to end up back at square one. And during the diet break, this is essentially practice for maintaining the habits you've developed during your deficit previously. My personal experience is one reason I've been able to maintain 40 pounds of weight loss is that I never stop monitoring my progress. So my goal for you is not to spend your whole life trying to see the scale go down, but instead build habits that have allowed you to sustain the progress you've made thus far. Remember, fat loss has an end date, maintenance does not. If you found this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe for more content like this. Maybe leave a comment down below with your input and your feedback. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, go ahead and send me an email at ben@prophysique.com for a free consultation call. See you in the next video.